everybody? Welcome back to Living Well with Terrell, the place where we develop the mind, soul, and the body on a communal level. And today we're going to be focusing on the aspect of the body and the mind. So today's topic is going to be something I've spoken about a few times here. It's going to really be centered around confidence, the power of confidence, and we're actually going to tap into insecurities and things of that nature. Before we get into the thick of the story, I'm going to be sharing some news with you guys that kind of, made me realize why this needs to be rediscussed here on this platform. And, it was a learning experience for me. So recently, this is some good news. I was scouted in London by a mother agent. Now, as you guys know, I dibble and dabble in modeling and acting, but I've never really been managed professionally. And that's been one of my goals, is to find the right management. And I'm a very much spiritual person, but I'm logical at the same time. And I always kind of wanted to find someone who believed in me, but who believed in me and who was passionate about the work they did and, who put their best foot forward. So I've had opportunities to be represented by different agencies, different people, but I personally knew that there was a lot I had to learn before I could even be represented by an agency. But most importantly, a lot of times when people get signed to these agencies, male models, female models as well, these agencies, they just have you sitting on the boards. You get locked into an agency and you're like, oh, this is so good, I'm going to be working, I'm going to be doing this. But there's a difference between a model and a working model. And for me, I always wanted to be represented by someone who I could have a personal relationship, but they still had the best knowledge and insight for me professionally, right? So as you guys know, I just recently went to London, and while in London, I got a DM from a mother agent. Her name is April Alexander. Shout out to April. And everything was just right, and I have been manifesting and meditating and praying on, just send me the right person. I was like, I just need the right team or the right person to believe in me and, have genuine interest for me and have genuine interest for me and the success of me as a model. So, April DM'd me. She said, hey, I think I'll probably insert the messages, but she said something along the lines of, I would like to chat more about representation. I'm a mother agent, so we exchanged numbers. She gave me a call, and the conversation was so genuine and magnetic. Like everything I was looking for, she kind of embodied it and projected it. She was telling me about her personal story and her victory as a mother agent. And it was just so much compassion from her. And everything she said, like I said, she was like, my concern is not just placing you with an agency. My concern is finding the right agency for you, because you could get into an agency and it not be the right environment, and it could cause you to deplete. And, we don't want that. So I say all this to say, I ended up getting scouted by April, which was an amazing thing. And we had a test shoot. Now, this is where the topic becomes forefront. All right, so arrive and everything. Now, let me tell you guys a few things you don't know about me. All right, so let me move this camera back a little bit because I feel like I'm a little close. We already halfway through the video, but it is what it is. All right, now I'm a little, okay, not a little, but I'm insecure when it comes to my body. And a lot of people are like that. I know they'll be like, well, you shouldn't be, but I still it's just a buildup. How even some things you just work on so much mentally that they just be trapped in your head. You could go out there, I can have the biggest, buffest body right now, but I will still kind of have that little bit. It takes time to break it down, and I've been working on it. I've been going to the gym, I've been making progress, but I'm still insecure about some things like, oh man, I don't have a six-pack. This lady's a model agent, she probably looking for, a recruiter, she's looking for people with six-packs, she's looking for this, I got this, I got that. So all of these thoughts are in my head, all these things are in my head. And I just want to show you guys how the mental just projects the physical, right? Because me, I'm such a person where it's being that I'm not confident in my body, that I don't want to show it off really. My body, when I take my shirt off and stuff, I'm not comfortable with clothes off. So all the pictures she took of me where like I took my shirt off and stuff like that. Like, you know, I was kind of timid. I was kind of, because I wasn't confident in myself. And then just a bunch of other things were running through my head, right? So she's like, you know, you just need to be confident. She was like, you know, you need to try to like emulate, you know, the sexy like boy next door, you know, like that. Not cocky, but that confident, like, oh yeah, I'm just a hot guy kind of thing. And I'm like, what? Like, you know, like that's not who I am. And she's like, are you kidding me? She was like, are you sure? I was like, no, that's not my personality. And then I'm like, you know, I guess I can give off that energy sometime, but it depends on like when I'm on a gram and I take pictures for Instagram, I have a different energy. But because you know I'm clothed and I'm just like, okay. So she's like, you know, you have everything. You have the body, you have the face. I just need you to have the energy. And I'm just like, wow, that's so crazy because I couldn't, like, when I was timid, I mean, eventually we were getting there part by part, but I just remember her saying, you need to loosen up, you need to be less stiff, like, and she was really challenging me. It was really a learning experience. And I'm like, man, like, wow, I felt like all of my insecurities were just laid out, like right then and there, like flat out, you know what I'm saying? And I felt like she had this big ass light and she was just shining it on all my insecurities, like putting all that shit in the forefront. Because when I tell you every single thing, she wanted me to kind of embrace it, but for the work, she didn't, it's not like she was doing this intentionally. And I'm just like, oh my God, like I'm nervous, I'm sweating and shit. And then we get to do a wardrobe. So like we took a photo shoot with like an outfit on, and then I was getting a little better. She's like, okay, you're doing a little better. You still a little stiff here and there. This is what you need to work on. She was really patient with me, but you know, I was doing better. Now, once it got to the photo shoot we did where I wore a coat, she was like, for some reason, I just feel like you just became yourself once you put that coat on. And that was when it clicked in my mind. I was like, wow, that's so crazy, because I definitely got extremely confident when I had that coat on. And it made me realize like all of our mental thoughts and insecurities, like we project them whether we realize it or not. Like me being more comfortable clothed was just a realization that I'm insecure about my body, because when I have less clothes on, I'm more timid. But when I have more clothes on, I'm more confident. Like I was hitting every pose on the head. Like she even noticed it. She said, it's something about your energy. Like you're just glowing now that you put this coat on. I'm just like, that's crazy. And that just goes to show you the beauty of confidence, right? And then the ugliness of insecurity, right? Ugliness of insecurity. So that just made me think like, wow, you know, confidence is so important. And I feel like this is a topic we need to revisit. So obviously, you know, that caused me to do some inner digging and do inner work. And I was like, I need to be more comfortable taking pictures, you know, like with my shirt off, or just looking at myself in the camera so I could get used to seeing myself with my shirt off. Because like when I showed my boyfriend my pictures, I took some pictures and I took some advice that she had given me. And I hated the picture. I was like, I just don't like these pictures. I look weird, I look weird, I look weird. And when I promise you, in my mind, I look so weird. I did not feel attractive at all in the photos. And he was like, you look really good in these pictures. Like, you look really good. And it's probably because you're not used to seeing yourself like this, that you think you don't look good, but you look really good. And then I had sent them to some friends and they told me the same thing. So I'm like, you know, in our minds, like confidence is so important, but it's so difficult to master, because when you have something set in your mind, it's hard to kind of get that broken. No matter who tells you what, how many people tell you, you're always going to feel it. And, you know, I say all this to say that you have to do something different. You know what I'm saying? You have to challenge your insecurities. You know what I mean? And the way you get more confident is by coming straight at your insecurities, like headstrong, like ramming through them. Like me being afraid to like take pictures with my shirt. Take that shirt off. Like, okay, take that shirt off, take those pictures. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just get more comfortable in yourself, because, you know, the most important thing is the beauty, like the beauty energy is responsible for the beauty. And there are people out there with less attractive bodies than me, right? Like, you know, based on societal standards, less conventionally attractive bodies than me. But when they take pictures, like, even I'd be like, man, this dude, he looks good. And sometimes I try to figure out, why does he look so good when he has this much fat, or he has this, or he has that? You know, me just like dabbling in my own insecurities, but I still acknowledge this dude looks good. And it's because like his body language, you know? He, like, I'll be seeing dudes stand in pictures confident with their little belly gut, their little whatever, you know, and they just standing confident, standing strong, have good confident stature. And that's how you know. You can tell when somebody's confident. It's just attractive. Like it's not necessarily the physical properties, but it's more so the intention and the spirit behind what you're doing. So I say all this to say it's all in your head. You know what I'm saying? If you're insecure about something, work on it. Definitely work on it. Like I said, our insecurities are powerful. They let us know what we may need to enhance. But at the same time, like, don't let it hinder you too much. You know what I'm saying? Embrace it, but work on it. Like, acknowledge it, but work on it. Because you can't really work on it until you acknowledge it exists. How are you going to fix something when you haven't even let yourself know that it was a problem? And in order to solve a problem, you need to explore that problem and embrace it in a sense. So I'm telling you, whatever you're shy about, whatever you think is going to hurt you, you need to embrace it, because the thing is, if it's something that's not going away tonight, that means you're going to wake up with it tomorrow. And if you're going to wake up with it tomorrow, like, you may as well not carry it inside of you and let it hurt you inside. If it's going to be something that's physically outside of you, you need to have a positive outlook on it from the inside, because that's going to give you that beautiful energy, like through body language. So that's the video, guys. I just wanted to share that with y'all, because confidence is something that it's an ongoing battle, and it's an ongoing build up. So never feel like you're worthless because you have down days or down moments. Like, we all got to work on something. But that's all I got for y'all today. Peace.